Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hi friends, we are back with our book Living Spring by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier. And today is a beautiful chapter in chapter 140 by Emmanuel, Behind Jesus. And it says, "And as they were leading him away, they seized one Simon, a Syrian, who had come in from the country, and they put the cross on his shoulder so as to carry it behind Jesus." And it's in Luke 23, verse 26. The crowd that surrounded the Master on his final day was huge. It included the impudent idlers of the world, the um, champions of usury, the mockers, the ignorant, the weak minds that recognized Christ's superiority and were afraid to stand up for their convictions, the wavering friend of the gospel, the cowardly witness, the beneficiaries of the divine physician who hid themselves in fear, afraid of death. But a foreigner forced by the people accepted the cross, although constrainedly and carried it, following behind Jesus. The lesson, however, would be bequeathed to the centuries of the future. The world is still an enormous Jerusalem, congregating people of the widest variety of nonsense. But if you draw near to the gospel with sincerity and fervor, they will lay the cross on your heart. From then on, you will be compelled to make major demonstrations of selflessness. Very few will notice your exhaustion and anguish, and in spite of your status as a servant who has the same problems as everyone else, they will expect from you displays of humility, endurance, heroism, and loyalty to the good. Endured and toil, your eyes turned towards divine light. Invisible torrents of heavenly springs will descend from on high upon your spirit, and you shall overcome valiantly. For now the cross is still the sign of faithful disciples. If you do not bear witness through the marks of the responsibility, toil, sacrifice, or spiritual growth, it may be that you do love the Master deeply, but it is almost certain that you still have not joined him on the redemptive journey. Therefore, let us bless our cross and fearlessly follow behind him, seeking the victory of love and eternal resurrection. Again, today Emmanuel brings a beautiful chapter. And he shows us that we should take up our cross so that we can follow Jesus. Our cross, everything that, all our trials, everything that we still need to work through, we should take it up and keep our eyes on Jesus and follow Jesus. He's talking about a lot of people that were there. He says there were many people when Jesus was massacred, and he says that even the witnesses of the gospel were too afraid to stand up for the truth and for Jesus. And there is our first question today, beloved friends. How are you and I in standing up for Spiritism or for the good? If we talk to someone, if we are in wherever we can be, but if something is going on, can we stand up for the good? Stand up in of course, kindness like Jesus did. He was kind but strict. And we still have to learn that. But can we stand up for what is good? And how are we in standing up, in spreading the good news? Do we have the courage to stand up for Jesus in that way? He says a foreigner was forced by the people to carry the cross that he did. And he says the world is still in enormous Jerusalem, still afraid to stand up for what is good. And he says, from then on, you will be compelled to make a major demonstration. So if we change our ways, if we take up our cross, and he says, they will lay the cross on our hearts. From then on, you will be compelled to make major demonstrations of selflessness. So we would need to work on selflessness. Very few will notice your exhaustion and anguish. It is that you and I, beloved friends, have our own trials to go through. And just because we choose to work for the good doesn't exempt us from going through our own trials on earth to evolve. And we should always keep that in mind. If we look at other people around us as well, everyone on earth, because earth is a school, is going through trials. What Spiritism does for me and you is that it helps us so that we can accept better, so that we can see better, so that we can understand. And that gives us joy, a joy in taking up our cross to do and to go through life, because we look for the good in everything, even in times when sometimes we have anguish or we are frustrated. Endure until your eyes turn towards the divine light. So he says, endure and turn our eyes to divine light. So for us, this is a recipe to go through our trials, to keep our eyes on Jesus. Invisible torrents from heavenly springs will descend from on high upon your spirit, and you shall overcome valiantly. So we will overcome it if we just hold on, be courageous, because this too shall pass. For now, the cross is still a sign of faithful disciples. So if we take on this cross in working for the good, he says that it is a task for faithful disciples. In faithfulness towards Spiritism, in where we are in this. If we look, we need to look at ourselves to see where can we do more. Maybe be more open, share more, and even learn more. He says, for now the cross is still a sign of faithful disciples. Sorry. If you do not bear witness through the marks of responsibility, he says, the marks of responsibility. Take up responsibility, toil, sacrifice. We need to sacrifice ourselves or spiritual growth. It may be that you do love the Master deeply, but it's almost certain that you still have not joined him on the redemptive journey. So if we do not take up this cross and do something, have an action, and in the same change every day, work on yourself as well as learn, but give out while we work. And this is what God Radio is doing for me and you. Together we share, and together we learn, and together we assist each other. Therefore, let us bless our cross and fearlessly follow behind him. Excuse me. Bless our cross. How beautiful is that? And follow behind him. seeking the victory of love and eternal resurrection. So seek the good, seek love, everything that is beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me again today, beloved friends. My God bless each and every one of us. Thank you for all the spirit guides of Kardec Radio, all the mentors, and God bless each and every one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.